Hello everyone, and thank you for being here. We are back with more disturbing information on the daddy and daughter duo. We touched on some basic lore of them, and while we did go down the rabbit hole, it still feels like a basic description of them because these people stream every single day, and I feel like there's more to be said and more to discuss and more theories to talk about when it comes to these folks. If you have never heard of the daddy and daughter duo or need a refresher, please go watch my first video for a more thorough, in-depth commentary video. If you're wondering, hey Bubs, where are you? I'm just, I'm just visiting my boyfriend in the night court. If you know, you know. It's definitely not because my room was extremely messy and for once I didn't feel like cleaning it up. No, it's definitely me just visiting one of the bat boys in the night court. If you know, you know. Okay, but for quick recap, if you don't want to go back and watch my video, I'll give the quickest recap on the daddy and daughter duo. So the daddy and daughter duo, I keep saying that, but it's actually daddy-daughter dream team, and it's made up of Sarah and Patrick, a father and daughter who were called out online for being way too close. They would go viral from singing and dancing and even writing a book together. As the internet noticed something fell off about this relationship, the internet would uncover some horrid truths, which would include Patrick writing sexual stories about his daughter on Literotica. Yeah, that's how f***ed up these people are. So you best believe I'm keeping a close eye on them. You best believe it. Patrick and Sarah would also make spicy AI content together and would also get called out on lots of lies, like the fact that Sarah had actually secretly been living with her parents when she made this big confession on how she moved out and was going to move on with her life. And that really hurt me because when I was deep diving them, I felt like everything was like unraveling in a way, because I was watching videos on them, of course, so everything was unraveling in a way that I didn't know what was going to happen next. And I felt such like elation at the fact that Sarah got out of that house. And when I figured out that she had been lying, I was just like, the disappointment to my core was like just so real. It is obvious that Sarah is the victim in this situation. Like, I do not want to say that Sarah is not the victim in this situation. She obviously is. But there are still things about Sarah that I find dodgy. And I know that Sarah is most likely a dodgy person because of how Patrick has raised her and created her to be so reliant upon him. They would eventually have to take their very odd account down, and they moved on to running the Gretchell family TikTok account, where they now do lives, and now the lives also include the Mother Teresa. That sounded so funny when I said that. Like, oh, you know, you think of the Mother Teresa, light a candle, you know. But no, their mother, whose name is Teresa, is now also heavily a part of the content. And so is the underaged brother, who is 16. We're going to be touching on him too. So keep that in mind. With that recap out of the way, let's touch on some things that I've learned since my first video about the daddy and daughter dream team. This isn't gonna follow like a certain timeline. These are things that I've learned outside of my original commentary video, which very much did follow a timeline. This is gonna be like, they will most likely be like, as I talk about them, it is most likely going to be like updates and things that are happening recently, but I also will touch on maybe certain things that I missed out in my original commentary video, but I'll make it known that, oh, this is like back in the day, this isn't like recent. So yeah, Just letting you know, there's not a fluid timeline going on, but it still matters nonetheless. And like I usually do in any of my darker deep dive videos, we're gonna always go from lighter to darker. So we're gonna touch on softer subjects, and then we'll go darker. Let's talk about the meet and greet. Okay, let's talk about this meet and greet. I have no idea why Patrick would think it's a good idea to do a meet and greet. I mean, most of the attention they do gain is from people who call out their odd behavior. And I'm not sure why he thinks he is some super famous guy. And in my previous video, you would even see when they went to SeaWorld, the girl who would service them at SeaWorld would say, I thought that they were going to be super famous the way that they were talking about themselves, but when I looked them up, no, they weren't that famous. I mean, they still have a lot of followers, don't get me wrong, they're still prominent figures on TikTok, but you're not the Kardashian family, definitely not.
Well, it's official, guys, the cookout is full.
Yeah.
We actually got one more than we're supposed to have. But I don't think everybody's going to show up, so we'll be fine.
Yeah.
But it brought up a big question between us.
Yeah.
Okay? And that question is this really the right format for this?
Because we mentioned in live that this is for the fans, but then we remembered that we were the ones who decided what we were going to do.
Yeah.
So if this is really for our fans, we need to let you guys decide.
So, all right, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to post 2 comments below this video. Unfortunately, TikTok won't allow us to do a poll, so this is going to be our version of a poll, all right? So, whichever option gets the most likes, actually that's going to be difficult because they can like both. But here's the thing, okay? If you were really excited to just meet us, okay? If that's what most people want, then we can open this up. Maybe change the venue, maybe keep the same venue, but do 3 different time slots so we can accommodate more people, and just do a meet and greet.
And if you've already booked your hotel, don't worry, we'll keep it around the same area just so that you don't have to cancel your reservation and rebook.
Yeah. So it will be probably at River Legacy, if not then at a venue in Arlington close by.
Yeah.
This frees up a lot. We can accommodate a lot more people, and then we don't have to worry about registrations. If you want to come, just come.
Yeah.
If it is determined that most people are really, really excited for the food, then we will have to stay to the limited 194 people that we have, and that's all we'll be able to accommodate, because number one, the food's going to be really expensive for 100.
I just don't know why he thinks he's this super famous guy where he can just have a meet and greet at the park and it's all just going to be a fun circus. But instead of the amazing parade, it turned out to be an absolute nightmare. Okay, so follow me with this. Patrick would go online and say that he wants to have like a grill out for everyone. He wants to, invite people, and he wants to make dill hot dogs for everyone. Also, pause. I didn't talk about this in my first video, but Patrick is really obsessed with dill. And look, I like dill too. Dill has this place. Especially I love pickles. I'm like Snooki from Jersey Shore. I love a pickle. I don't really eat them whole very often like she does. But you best believe if my burger ever comes without a pickle, there is going to be hell to pay. And McDonald's in Australia loves to do that shit. And I think that they need to be arrested for it. People in Australia do not respect pickles the way that pickles should be respected. And maybe I sound like a fat ass American saying that, but if you ain't got pickles at the cookout, baby, my fat ass is getting back in the passenger seat and going home. I'm going home. Okay. So what I'm trying to say is I understand, but everything has to do with dill around this man. Every recipe has dill in it. Every cookout has dill in it. An opportunity to talk about dill? Patrick is going to be talking about dill. Okay? So he loves his dill. He loves his dill. It was just a little interesting fact I wanted to touch on. Patrick would invite people to come to their meet and greet where he would cook dill hot dogs for everyone. I also have to be honest, guys, I hate hot dogs. I hate them. I hate hot dogs. I hate hot dogs. I do love dill, though. We've established that. So, there were 199 reservations for this meet and greet. But Patrick would then go on TikTok and say that the original place where the meet and greet would be is canceled because the trolls ruined it.
Well, I knew our trolls would run with this, but I didn't think they would run with it this far. Like, they actually got our reservation at River Legacy canceled. And they think that's going to stop us.
We do know that there are actually people who are coming.
They're not coming for the chili. They're not coming to troll us. They are coming to meet us. Yes, we have real fans. I know y'all don't believe it, but we do. And we pretty much know who they are.
So it's been fun making the trolls go crazy, trying to shut us down or scare us off or anything to stop this from happening. Because when it does happen and we post videos about it, they'll lose so much traction.
We will no longer be the lol cows they want us to be. We will have established ourselves as serious influencers. We're even going to have a drawing. And 3 lucky people are going to be able to do a dance video with us.
Buy merch now and bring it with you for us to sign at the event.
And for those of you who are legitimately worried for our safety and yours if the trolls show up, let me reassure you, we will host this at a private venue and we will have security. And our security will not hesitate to remove anybody as soon as they start trouble.
But then he's going to double down and say, not on my watch, honey. We're still going to have this meet and greet because I want to make these dill hot dogs for you. He is committed to making these dill hot dogs for you. So he said, I'm not going to let the trolls win. We're going to figure something out. Okay, so they decide to have the meet and greet at a park. At a park, they just put a little tent up. And they had a couple benches and they said, "Mwah." They said, this is it. This is my moment to shine. They would have like 3 or 4 fans show up. Look, I'm a small YouTuber, so I'm not even going to sit here and make fun of 3 or 4 fans. If I got to meet 3 or 4 of you guys, that would be sick. That would be dope. So I'm not even going to like go on like about like, oh, they're fucking losers, only 3 or 4, because that's so like they live in like a random ass place, you know. 3 or 4 would be cool for like, you know, a small get together. I think that's fine. But the 3 or 4 is still important for this context we are about to get to. Okay, it's important. So remember, 3 or 4. And half of those people that showed up, the 3 or 4 people, they would be trolls. And I was so confused because I saw the live stream of one of these trolls. They were streaming the get-together dill hot dog picnic, whatever you want to call it. And it was not chaotic in any way. And I'm going to show the stream on here while I talk, so you can, I am proving to you that this fucking picnic was not chaotic in any way at all. And then when I saw the police show up, I was like, why are the police here? There is absolutely no way the police need to be involved in whatever is happening here. I really do not understand what is happening. But when Patrick and Sarah would go on live that same day, they would explain that some type of raid happened.
Unsafe. We should have never gone to the park. And yes, we had 2 fans show up, 3 fans.
3 fans, yeah.
They started showing up once the police got there. Teresa was getting extremely stressed out. Sarah was getting scared when they were saying more people were coming.
We knew there was going to be trolls. They're basically ganging up on us.
I knew the trolls were going to be there and completely crazed.
We just didn't want any like physical violence or any kind of like confrontation.
It's all on them. It's not on us. We were ignoring, we were just doing what we were supposed to be doing. We literally were there for a meet and greet for our fans. We were not there to stir up the trolls. In fact, we were ignoring them. They escalated this by bringing multiple people in a
basically almost mob situation.
We felt as if we were being ganged up on. We felt that we were being threatened. We just decided that it was a good idea to pack up and leave.
When you come into real life and you approach us in real life, that's taking it too far.
We're gonna have to plan it better next time because this was off the wall.
I should have canceled it, knowing that the trolls were going to show up. Just how unhinged the haters are, that they are willing to go this far. The police don't investigate false claims. Okay, we didn't escalate anything. We called the police in order to protect ourselves as we made our exit so that we were not followed.
A raid. A chaotic raid. Where? Where? I didn't see it. I didn't see no type of raid, baby. And I just thought it was so bizarre, guys. And I do think that they have a paranoid way of thinking. I think Patrick definitely has a paranoid way of thinking. I think Patrick has a way higher opinion of himself than he really should have. Like, I think that Patrick truly believes that he is the Messiah, okay? Patrick believes that he is the Kwisatz Haderach. Patrick believes that he is the one who will show the way. Patrick believes that Patrick believes that he is Paul Atreides. He is the one who will. He believes he's the Kwisatz Haderach. He does. He absolutely does. He's watching out for them, Bene Gesserit. He is watching out for them, Bene Gesserit. You know, he's so paranoid because you would figure out that Patrick was the one who called the cops. So I thought that they thought it was some type of raid and some kind of chaotic mess because someone called the police on them. And I would have total sympathy for that because if I was sitting there just making dill-ass hot dogs and someone called the police on me, I'd be like, the fuck? I'm just trying to make my dill-ass hot dogs, you know? No, they were the one to call the cops. And I actually, still to this day, don't even know why they got so paranoid and so freaked out. I think it's because they had one of those 3 or 4 people confront them. They made it known that they weren't a fan, this person. And I totally understand that that is very confronting. But how are you surprised when 9 out of 10 people who are following you are fucking haters? You cannot be surprised. And this felt like it was made for content. This did not feel like he wanted to really meet his friends and his fans. This felt like it was absolutely made for content, for some type of drama. It absolutely. Like I said, Patrick thinks he's the fucking... You know, Patrick thinks that Voldemort is after his ass. Like, he thinks that he's the one. He's the chosen one. He thinks he's the Kwisatz Haderach. You know, Patrick is so funny to me. But there was no need to call the police. You know, but maybe I just grew up, like, hella bad. Because, you know, me and my brothers would get on, like, in like, punch-ons. And my mom's response was to be, can you go outside? Like, you do not call the police up in our trailer park when I was a kid for any reason. Absolutely none at all. Okay? We don't call... Is someone dead? Why are you calling the police? Is someone dead? So maybe I just have a skewed way of thinking about things. So yeah, I think I just have a skewed way of thinking about things. Maybe it was totally right for them to call the cops when this one person confronted them. But, I mean, did the person confront them with a knife? Patrick is such a diva. That is the way that I would describe Patrick. An absolute and utter diva.
Alright guys, so it's not 1 o'clock, but unfortunately the trolls showed up and they were streaming our meet and greet, and they were making threats. Gotta protect everybody, so we have left.
We will organize another meet and greet, but this time we will get a private venue where we can keep it under control. I do apologize for anybody that was coming this afternoon. I'm sorry, I didn't want to come to this, but I have to protect my family. These guys are crazy. These guys are unhinged. And yeah, so we're off. We did meet a few of you, and for those that showed up, and when the cops were there, I appreciate you guys, and I'm glad you guys were able to see us and meet us. We will do this again, I promise. I'm sorry for those that couldn't meet us, but there's always next time. So yeah, we will be live tonight at 7 o'clock, and I hope everybody, like I said, I hope everybody that came to meet us isn't too disappointed. I'm sorry, but I have to protect my family. I don't care about me. I can handle it. I can protect myself, but I'm not putting my family at risk.
Moving on from the meet and greet, we're gonna talk about something. We're gonna talk about something, and you're gonna be like, Bubs, why are you bringing this up? This is pointless. This is unnecessary. And I am going to tell you, no, this is not pointless. This is not unnecessary. This is crucial to me. This is important to me. My 80-kilo ass, this is, I love a good feed. I'm a foodie. I like food. I think you can tell by looking at me. I love food. And so we need to talk about Patrick's cooking videos. Patrick's cooking videos are fucking diabolical, and they need to be addressed, and we need to talk about them. So strap it in. Oh, that sounded wrong. Strap in. That still sounded wrong. Get ready. I have no idea why there are so many goddamn weird people on TikTok who think they can cook. And don't get me wrong, I like to watch normal people cook. And I like to get some fun, cheap recipe ideas from watching normal people and normal recipes. Like, absolutely. There is nothing wrong with being a mediocre chef. Me, myself, and I am a mediocre chef. Okay, I like watching mediocre chefs and getting ideas. But you guys have to understand where I'm coming from. Where the most weird freaking people think that they can cook on TikTok. Like, I just covered Candy Rooks, the predator obsessed with real life dolls. She thought she could cook too. It's always the strangest people who come out with the most cauldron boiled bullshit thinking that they can cook. Look, you don't have to be Gordon Ramsay for me to watch you, but I feel like every weird ass TikToker I touch on, they always try to reinvent themselves as a chef. And they are always cooking up the most diabolical shit. I am someone who is very weird with their food though, and I'm pretty sure next to my abusive father, my eating habits was my mom's 13th reason why, right? And I think like she would probably go head to head and say, sometimes I might have preferred the manipulation and abuse from your stepfather than dealing with what you wanted to eat that night. Okay, I am a picky eater, so I do have to say, with this criticism, you have to think of that. You have to think of that I'm not a perfect person, and that maybe I'm being too critiquey. I don't care. We're going to talk about it anyway. So Patrick would make the most disgusting Crunchwrap Supreme, and I think that this one traumatized me the most. Because I love Taco Bell. So for him to take something so sacred and close to my heart and ruin it should be considered sacrilege. I just know at some point my mom is going to watch this video and she's going to die. And I don't know if it will be from the whole jar of dill seasoning Patrick will put in the taco meat of the Crunchwrap Supreme, or if it will be the fact he added the wrong type of flour into the cheese sauce. So the cheese sauce was not just watery, but clumpy with clumps of flour in it. And if you guys don't know, my mom's like, she takes pride in her food. She was a cake decorator for like 26 years. She loves baking, she loves food, she loves all that stuff. So that's why I'm like, my mom's gonna die when she sees this. Also, I don't know if you guys will know what I mean by this, but I am so sick of influencers saying they're an expert at something, and then you figure out that this is their first time doing something, which is exactly what happened in this video. He said he is going to teach us how to make a Crunchwrap Supreme. And then he goes, oh, this is my first time making it though. And I'm like, dear God, what a nightmare. And this awful display of chefry proves there's nothing they won't do for content. And I need Patrick to know, not everything needs to be content. Not everything needs to be recorded. Especially your watery, clumpy, yeasty ass cheese sauce. Look, is this the worst thing that Patrick could do? No. Is it the worst thing he has done? No. But I hate this fucker so much. I want him to know, along with his moral code and his content creation, your cooking also sucks shit too. And stop making everything content. Stop saying you know how to cook. You do not. We know that you are an expert liar. And you're lying with this. There's no expert needed in this lie because we look at your cooking and we know that it's bullshit, okay? And I just, it was diabolical. It was diabolical, okay? And then Sarah is forced to pretend she likes it too.
Hold it up there nicely. Now flip it over. And now we gotta put it in the pan. So put the pan on the burner. Just set that in there just like that.
There's our nice little Crunchwrap. Time for the taste test.
All right,
Tell us what you think.
This one's for you, Sophia. Homemade Crunchwrap Supremes. Where do I don't know where to begin.
So,
Better than Taco Bell. This is delicious. It's spicy, but it's got the right amount of spice that's not overpowering, but actually helps it out. Oh my gosh, I've become Dad explaining what things taste like.
well, that's a good thing.
This is delicious. Sophia, happy birthday, and I hope you enjoy your Crunchwrap.
Yes. Happy birthday to Sophia Supreme. We are glad you're part of our community.
Yes.
We love you. This was in honor of you. I hope you've had an amazing day.
Yes.
And we will see you on live tonight.
Mm-hmm.
So until then.
For both lives, because she's a super fan too.
Yeah. So until then, everybody remember,
stay positive and have an amazing day.
It's the ass Crunchwrap Supreme and go, it's better than Taco Bell. You liar. You liar. You're a liar. I know there was a gun pointed at her fucking head behind that camera. I know there was a gun pointed at her. Better than Taco Bell? You lie. Okay, moving on from Patrick's cooking. We all know that they have now rebranded themselves the Gretchell family, right? And I have a real problem with the direction that they are going. So let's talk about the brother. I will not be showing the brother. I will not be naming the brother because I do not want to add on to the attention he is already going to gain from now being inserted into this new rebrand. Since the rebrand of Daddy and Daughter Dream Team to the Gretchell family, the mother and brother have been involved heavily. Look, I have no real problem with the mom, Teresa, being involved. I do think her relationship with her husband feels very performative, but I hold a lot of issues with the brother being involved because he is only 16. Sarah is obviously a victim of her father, but at least when she was a part of this, she was of age. But now there's this little boy just being thrown into the deep end of all this hateful nonsense going on TikTok. I feel like family channels always go awry, especially when the people a part of the family channels are under 18 years old, and they really can't give true consent on being on TV or being a part of, a career like this. It never goes the right way. I think we've proven that time and time again, but I feel like it's been proven more on YouTube rather than TikTok. I still think that there are a lot of families that show their kids on TikTok. So I think that TikTok is more of it's uncharted waters compared to YouTube, right? And I don't know if that maybe people see less of a problem with putting your kids on TikTok because maybe it's short form content. But I don't really see much of a difference from short form content to long form content. I mean, maybe an extra 5 minutes, It's never going to work out, guys, okay? It's never going to work out. It might be a bit of an extreme belief of mine, but I just don't think your underage kids need to be a part of your career. My mom wouldn't take me to work and subject me to child labor. She wouldn't have me decorating her cakes and taking orders and answering phone calls for her when I was a kid. Why should this kid not have a normal childhood, which would already be hard to achieve because his dad is quite literally a predator and his mom is subservient to the wants of the dad? On top of that, he is homeschooled, he's isolated, and he lives in a hotel. Which they have, I will give it to them, they have moved to an apartment recently. But again, tiny ass apartment. I mean, all the odds are already against the poor guy. And now you're putting his face on all this weird online bullshit. You guys are doing this for a cash grab. You guys are not thinking about your son and the effects that it'll have on him. You're just thinking about the money it's going to make you. I also feel bad for the kid because he is being homeschooled by a guy who thinks a whole jar of dill pickles belongs in taco meat. And that is very concerning. That is very, very concerning. I am also curious on what the brother has witnessed. 2 of his uncles are in jail for sexual assault. Father and sister have both been called out for making spicy AI content in tandem together, it seems like. And on top of that, his dad's accounts were linked to a literotica account that he admitted making stories about his daughter. So even if he isn't directly being abused in this household, I wonder what witnessing and continuing to be in an environment like this would do to you. Okay. All of them being influencers aside, I want to talk about something that I've noticed that I didn't touch on enough, I personally feel like, in my last video. And that is Sarah's unhappiness. I really don't know Sarah, so who am I to speak for her? But hear me out. I look at Sarah and I see someone I can relate to. I really do. My father was not sexually abused. He was extremely physically and mentally abused. He loved to play mind games. And one of the things he used to do that extremely impacted me and still does to this day, even though he's, croaked, is he would play this, oh, you don't look happy game, where he would examine me very closely. And it felt like he would do this thing. And maybe you guys can give me some insight on it in the comments. But he would always be like, you don't look happy enough. You don't look chipper enough. You look like you're walking on eggshells. And I did walk on eggshells, but that was because I wanted to examine his mood before I did something. So he would always want like a kiss on the cheek and a hug each morning. But sometimes he would be upset and I would go to do that action he expected of me and he would be like, oh, get off of me, read the room, you know, something like that. And so I always tried to examine how he was feeling before doing an action, but then he would complain about it seeming like I'm walking on eggshells, okay? And then on top of that, nothing would ever feel satisfactory enough for him in a sense of looking happy enough, being chirpy enough. Or, you know, he would, it was just, it was a head spin with him. It was always some type of psychological horror with him, to be completely honest. Anyways, if I wasn't looking or seeming happy enough around him, it would turn into a tailspin of this emotional manipulation on how I hated him or how ungrateful I was, you know, etc. So I would always make sure that I tried to keep my body language happy. I tried to seem happy. And when I look at Sarah, I see so much of this within her. I look at this girl and see someone who is not happy, but is pretending to be. I'm not saying it in a sense of she doesn't smile enough or she's not dancing around with pom-poms in her hands, but she looks so resigned to her fate. She looks so resigned to her fate and her life. And I feel like every time I look at Sarah, I see, when I look at Sarah, I see, and I know you guys are going to think I'm psychotic for this. I look in her eyes and I see what I used to see staring back at me in the mirror when I used to live with my dad, when I was a kid and lived with my dad. I see so much like deadness in her eyes, and I see she just has this fucking look on her face that I used to practice in the mirror, like my smiles and my mannerisms in the mirror, and not in a psychotic sense of I needed to, I'm not psychotic, I'm not, but I would practice in the mirror to look happy. And when I look at Sarah, it is like looking at myself looking back in the mirror. I'm being dead ass, guys. If you can understand what I'm saying, please comment below. If you can't, I really don't blame you. You can skip through this. Sarah, look, I know you're never gonna see this video, and you know, people care. People are not stupid. We are not dumb. We know that you are most likely a victim in this situation. You don't even have to come forward and tell your story. You don't have to give us a reason to trust you. You just need to know that if you ever wanted to leave and start a journey of your own and started a path of your own, people would be cheering you on. People would have your best interest at heart. It is possible to move on from this 110%. And that is where I'm going to leave it today with some thoughts, theories, and updates on the daddy-daughter dream team. I really hope you guys enjoyed. Comment below your thoughts. Comment below what you think of this family and anything else that you guys might want me to check out or give my opinion on. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one. Make sure you like and subscribe. And thank you for being here. Bye.